Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. As always, please note that this serves for educational purposes only and is not does not consist of financial advice. Always remember to do your own research and make investments that suit your objectives as an investor. So, welcome to today's idea. The stock that we have in front of us today is called WW Granger. Is a stock that I have been watching for a while, and as you can see, it's been on a pretty strong trend since the pandemic. Okay, so had a big shortfall here, but then it recovered spectacularly. Now, in 2021, we saw some downside moves. You can see here, uh, going from 410 to 364, then back up to 465, down to 400, back up to 518, then down to 442, and then all the way back up. So in 2021, what happened was that they had plenty of supply chain issues, not unheard of, something that was very, very common across the world. But what is quite interesting here is what's been happening in 2023, which has seen the stock going from 552 to as high as 788. So that's definitely very, very good performance. So I started looking at this stock recently, actually. So I had a look at it in early October when I was trading, yeah, around the 750 levels, more or less. And even though my predisposition for the stock was bullish, I decided not to enter that trade because it felt that the upside had already been captured. And it seems like that was the right call because look at what happened here. End of October, they report earnings, they were good, and the stock rallied quite a bit. As a matter of fact, it's gone after hours to 720. So it's currently sitting around these levels. It's a shame that I didn't enter when I was here, but well, I was away. You cannot be in every single place at the moment. That's not to say that there's no upside left here, right? And that's exactly where I want to talk about today. So at the moment, I think this is a stock that would fit nicely into my portfolio and is aligned with my worldview, with what I think is happening. First of all, the supply chain issues have eased, so that's not something that companies are experiencing anymore. But also, we have a company here with a diversified customer base. Is a defensive stock because they serve organizations with the maintenance and repair needs. It's a company that's selling mostly in the US, which at the moment is, for the most part, holding up the vast majority of the world. Many markets out there are not doing well. And on the US specifically, at the moment, manufacturing remains subdued, but it seems to be slowly picking up. And we could see ourselves in a situation where the switch on that is going to flip and we're going to return to that growth trajectory over the next few months, right? Now, uh, let's talk about the earnings. So as you can see here, we had quite a good upside here. Let's zoom that a little bit maybe. So does that mean that everything in the report was fantastic? Well, no, not really, because they actually missed revenue for the volume of around 8 million. Not massive considering that they make billions in sales. But the point is that it wasn't perfect, right? So, and yet the market is going up quite a bit. Also, something to note is that there have been 10 downside revisions on the next quarter. So, whilst this is a company that, yes, I'm bullish on, uh, I remain cautiously bullish. It's something that I'm going to add to the portfolio in relatively slow amounts. So, what is my bias here? Well, at the moment, some of these ratings that we saw, for example, UBS downgraded them over the summer. That caused the stock to fall. But the main reasoning for that was that UBS thought that there was going to be several headwinds for the company affecting their margins. And in reality, we have seen how the guidance by management has been increased on the base. So it's been increased from 15.2 to 15.6. So that goes to show that uh, what those analysts' expectations were does not translate into reality. And if the rest of analysts were thinking in the same line, well, we could see many of them coming back to the other side soon. So that is one of the reasons that piqued my attention. Also, listening to the latest earnings call, uh, I found there are very interesting comments from management. One of them saying that they do not need to leverage the balance sheet as it is already quite strong, and also that they're not seeing cost pressures. So think about for a second the market in which we're in, right? Everybody is wishing and hoping that inflation is going to come to an end at last, but it's just not happening. And we really don't know how long this new environment that we're in at 5% is going to stick around. So this may be the reason why so many investors have flocked to the stock of the year. And if that continues to be the case, which is, in my view, more and more possible every week, well, we could have in front of us an inflation refuge. So, not unreasonable for me to believe that this stock could retest these levels. As a matter of fact, my price target is just slightly above this. I think is very doable. So I want to show you guys quickly this chart here, coffin.com. You can use this for free. So you have here the next 12 months PE ratio, right? Look at what has been doing since July last year. So if you see there's like a channel trend over these two lines, and it's going in a seesaw every 2 months, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So here we had the market going down, so everything was going down. That makes sense. And then we had as well uh, the earnings release, right? Now, what happens if we just continue on this trend? Because the reality is that the macro picture has not really changed much, and certainly has not changed for these guys. Well, you could have the stock going from 18.5, where it is more or less at the moment, to say to the 22 level, right? With the growing earnings that they expect to have for next year. So you can do the math on that. So back at those times, so this is July 2023. That is when, excuse me, coming back to this tab. Yeah, that's where the stock was at 800. So I do think that over the period of maybe 3 to 6 months, we could be getting there for sure. So this is a position that I'm gonna start cautiously, uh, and yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on it. Any questions, please let me know, and happy trading.